I like to teach the world to be a dope man just like me. I like to front the world some coke and let them sell for me.
Well, today I want to talk about heroes and villains. Is hip-hop a cancer or is it a cure? In every story, there's a protagonist. And the protagonist is agonizing to make wrong things right. And then there's an antagonist who's fighting against what everybody's agonizing for. I guess in simpler terms, in every story, there are heroes and there are villains. The thing is, in today's society, the true versions of these stories often go untold, or they're told from a limited vantage point. I mean, you look at the wide spectrum of things and you'll notice that sometimes our heroes are actually more villainous than we think. And sometimes our villains are far more heroic than we give them credit for. You can look at the endorsement of slavery from our nation's founding fathers to our own fascination with murderous mobsters like Al Capone. I mean, Western society tends to change narratives for the sake of pride or prostitute tales of murder and misogyny for the sake of entertainment.
And I kind of think too, and I always think about this. If the reason why we have these arguments or these discussions is because we don't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So why is true? So taking that argument and say, you know what? Let's turn this thing on its head and let's start getting ownership.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Jay-Z fan. I'm just not.
Understand.
However, since Jay-Z has money, he's a black man. He has ownership, support in ways that you can support.
Yeah.
So that and hopefully, and he has given back in some way.
Oh yeah.
And in that way, hopefully that will come back into the community. Same with what's my man name? Oh my God, Cash Money.
Oh baby.
You know what I'm saying? He owns his own record label.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And whether you can get into the different about what happened between him and Lil Wayne, all that stuff, blah blah blah. That's not for me to get into.
Of course.
But he's a black man that owns something. And so if you can influence some of these guys, okay, now it's good y'all own these record labels. Now let's get into distributing.
Yes, that's.
You know what I'm saying? Because even though we own our record label, I still gotta go to Interscope to distribute it.
Of course.
Now, of course, with social media, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. It's not like it was 20 years ago, maybe, where you have to predominantly go to Interscope and all those other places to do your distribution. You can go strictly social media.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do that, let's support.
Yeah, exactly.
David Banner had put out that God box. I sent $5. I mean, I don't have a lot of money. I figured, hey, here you go. I didn't even download the album. Just sent $5.
Let's do it.
Willie D has a YouTube channel. I gave to his Patreon. Why? Because he's a black man.
Exactly.
Trying to do something. Mm-hmm. And I think if we kind of take those stands collectively, I think that we can probably build on changing the whole narrative, changing the whole picture. Because I grew up in the hood. I was fortunate to have both sides. I lived in the hood for a minute. I lived in the suburbs. I went back to the hood. You know what I'm saying? So I know both perspectives. Right. So I understand it from both sides. And but at the same time, if I tell my story, if I was a rapper, I'm telling my story. I'm telling about how I seen crack. Let's turn the prettiest girl you seen in high school into this ugly looking monster. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How toothless and stuff. I seen like the biggest dope dealer, the biggest dope dealer you seen in the hood. He started getting hooked on crack. When he was like in the hood, doing this. Now he in the hood doing this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? When he was doing this, now he got his hands out. Hey man, because crack changed him.
Exactly.
And so if I was making a record, I could talk about that. Such and such. But then it's like we go back to that we said before, the evolution.
Yeah.
It has to evolve.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? We have to evolve.
Right.
Because if we constantly singing about the hood, singing about the drug use, singing about women with big behinds and big titties and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
You know, we talking about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm a man. Of course, I like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here saying, oh man, I don't like a big ass. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that. Oh man, I don't like no big booty. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta say, I know you allowed though.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying at the same time, you know, what about the little girls that's coming up
Right.
after us? You know, what about having a mindset of, hey, you know what? I don't have to be a video vixen. You know what I'm saying? Or my beauty is not just in my body.
Right.
I need to get something up here.
Yeah.
Because if I could think intellectually, I could grow a business. If I can grow a business, I could bring other women up into that business.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the kind of, I think that's...
It's funny you say that because you said the mental.
Right.
To me, it's all about mental. Because I think me and you had that conversation, and I suggest y'all two fellas to read this book, that how to make a slave. That Willie Lynch book.
Oh, that Willie Lynch book is.
It's probably no more than 30 pages.
Okay.
But every page is so powerful because you're looking at it and you can relate it to what you see out here today to day thing. Yeah. It's like, because pretty much if you can control the mind, you can control the whole person.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your father.
Why don't you tell us something about your father?
We're trying to get to know each other, Mr. Lowe.
I was trying to get to know you, Mr. Tolson.
Well, I'm not the one on the debate team.
Are we not engaged in a debate right now?
All right. I'll take the affirmative. Take the meanest, most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers, female niggers, and nigger infants. Tar and feather him. Tie each leg to a horse facing in opposite direction, set him on fire, and beat both horses until they tear him apart in front of the male, female, and nigger infants. Bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger males within an inch of their life. Do not kill them, but put the fear of God in them, for they can be useful for future breeding. Anybody know who Willie Lynch was? Anybody? Raise your hand. No one? He was a vicious slave owner in the West Indies. The slave masters in the colony of Virginia were having trouble controlling their slaves, so they sent for Mr. Lynch to teach them his methods. The word lynching came from his last name. His methods were very simple, but they were diabolical. Keep the slave physically strong, but psychologically weak and dependent on the slave master. Keep the body, take the mind. I and every other professor on this campus are here to help you to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind. Because obviously you have lost it.
I mean, honestly, that's not to speak upon it, but you know, women that are in abusive relationships is because that man has taken control of her thought process, her mental, and he's mentally broke her down. So at that point, he owns her. I mean, there's hopefully all women are, you know, get away from certain shit like that, but not to get off track. But to me, it's all about the mental. Like at one point, do us in our culture change mentality, like you said, in the evolution? But at the same time, when do other people outside our culture finally start waking up and realizing that there's certain standards that are being held against us should also mentally be changed too? You know what I'm saying? You can't just keep to me, I think it's the most asinine shit for any person that's not black to say that's okay, that what happened to us.
It's not okay.
There's no way you can ignore this shit, but you can't sit here and vulture off our culture and ignore the actual realities that we go through. To me, that's the most asinine shit in the world.
Well, the reason why people do that, just not black people, is because they not experiencing it.
course.
And when you're not experienced, you have a disconnect.
It's easy to jump in and jump out.
You know what I'm saying? You have a disconnect. So you don't see it as, you know, what's my man name? Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, he comes in, he predominantly reaches the black culture, we buying his music, blah, blah, blah. He dancing, quote unquote, black. Yeah. He singing, quote unquote, black.
He pull a titty out there, didn't hear shit from the motherfucker.
And then everything got blamed on Janet.
Yeah.
You know, and then he said,
took a huge fall for that shit.
He'll take, I don't understand what's going on, I understand why. It's been happening to us for years.
Exactly.
You know, because you got a disconnect because you're not experiencing that. Mm-hmm. You know, I tell a lot of people, my non-white friends, a lot of times I say some things you can never understand because you don't walk in these shoes. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I don't know if I was telling you or somebody else. It's just like especially like years ago when we come from the north, come down south, we gotta think about, okay, what gas station I'm gonna stop at? Mm-hmm. You know, should I stop here or can I stop there? Because you know we don't want things to happen because we stop in certain places where most non-black people would just say, hey, we're going down to Florida, we're going down to Texas, or we're going down to sunset to get in the car and go.
Yeah.
You know?
They move without thought.
Yeah. There's no thinking, but everywhere we go, there's always a thought process. Yeah. There's always a thought process. Mm-hmm. Everything we do, when we go get a job, you know, we thinking, okay, I gotta be 10 times better than that person, 10 times better than that person. You know what? And you got white people with blemishes on their record all the time. Mm-hmm. They step right in the job. We get something that's not even as great as their blemish, and be like, man, I ain't gonna get this job. I don't know. And, you know, we sweating and worrying about it because the image that's being portrayed. Mm-hmm. Now you go ahead and you transpose that onto rap music, or transpose that onto hip hop, and you look at it, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's being projected. This is how white people see us.
Right.
They see us as thugs. They see us as drug dealers. They see us as this. And so when they deal with us as drug dealers, not a person. Yeah. They deal with us as drug. They deal with the women as hoes, bitches. They deal with them as that because
one big generalization,
right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's being portrayed, and we need to do something to break down those barriers and break down reinvent the narrative.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Reset.
Yeah. That's why like a lot of these artists are going like independent now. Mm-hmm. Even Kanye West, he's still under a contract. Mm-hmm. But Frank Ocean, believe it or not, he was under the same contract as him. But he figured out a way to get out of it. Like he
sucked his way out.
You too, bro. I didn't think about you.
So that's funny. But he
no offense,
actually
no offense. I'm just saying. It's a joke.
But he put out like a BS album called like Endless. It was weird. And then Sony was like, no,
she don't like it.
So like Sonny was like, no, we're gonna cut you off, man, we can't really have you on here. He's like, oh wow, he felt like you didn't really care about it. Right. So after that, like literally the next year, he put out an album that won like Grammys, this and that, heavily acclaimed, critically acclaimed, and next thing he's like a free agent. And Kanye West is still under that same exact contract he was on, and he's not able to put out the stuff that he wants to, which is why he's trying all of these different ideas, pretty much trying to find a way out. Right. But they keep working because he's Kanye. So it's like you kind of lost at this point, and that's actually a good thing too, because like artists is low key like Brent Faiyaz. Remember I was telling you about him? Yeah. And he's not even under a contract at all. Like he doesn't even want to be like in a big brand. Like, and they found out that like more independent artists are more like richer or like more wealthier than people who are under contracts.
Yeah, because they ain't all those hands in the pot.
That's what I'm saying. They got no hands.
Not just that, but they're getting their profits where they're getting their money.
Right. When they're getting their bread. When you make a song, everybody in that whole entire thing getting the cut off of that. And this is why it's relating back to quantity over quality. Because it's like, oh, you put out a song, I'm gonna get some money off of that because keep on going, keep it coming. Right. So it's like I don't know. That's where it starts to die off because these big brands and big labels are taking the money out of the artists, and they don't even care about the artists like that. They just care about the money. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the industry, man. That's how that shit works. It's twisted, bro.
I know.
Well, I think like, you know, and it's too ready to start wrapping it up, but I think that going back to the original statement, you know, that if we don't get to a point where we do something to change it, all it's gonna do is get worse.
Right.
You know, because just look at it from, say, the 90s until now. You just see the progression, or degression, just. And now, you know, I was like going through YouTube. A lot of times when I do these videos, I try to do some research. And like, my mind is, I forget stuff all the time. Yeah. So I go through just kind of refresh my mind. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. And as I was going through like some of the newer stuff, it was almost like watching the same video over and over again. You know, no, I mean, you know, you have some exceptions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's not people not doing different stuff, but in general, you just like watching the same thing over again. It's like everybody was like getting high. You know, everybody hold a stack of money like a phone. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Everybody's doing that. You know? So it's kind of like, all right, but what happened to Poor Righteous Teachers? What happened to Arrested Development? You know, what happened to groups like that? That, well, even if you had NWA, I can listen to Poor Righteous Teacher, or I can listen to PM Dawn, I can listen to KRS. You know, I can listen to different genre. I mean, not different genre, but different perspectives of hip hop. You know, I could listen to different things. Whereas, like, my mind had a lot to choose from. I was at a buffet of hip hop. You know, where now I'm just getting one dish. You know, with a few little added things, like a few garnishes on it. You know, like that little fluff here, a little garnish here, but still the same dish. Of course, you know, but back then you had a buffet where I could just choose here. I was like to go to Corral of Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? So you had different stuff that you could just choose from. So if I wasn't like,
you hungry?
You know, if I went into gangster rap, I still got conscious rap.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't called conscious then, but still whatever.
More aggressive.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't want to listen to that, I had other kind of rap. I had this kind of rap. I had different kinds of stuff I could just choose from. I mean, like, I hated Special Ed. I mean, I just didn't like Special Ed. I thought he was
the rapper.
Yeah, no, not the class he was 10. You know.
Fuck you, yo, we gonna, you might have this shit out on
I know, don't edit that.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? But for people that liked him, he had an audience. You know, he had an audience. You had that choice to listen to him. You had that, like Young MC. I thought he was bubblegum rap. Okay. But at the same time, look how many records he sold. Look at Hammer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from a lyrical perspective,
Hammer wasn't the one.
He was not the one. I'm gonna say garbage, but I go with that. You know what I'm saying? but you can watch him be entertained because Hammer knew how to dance. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with Hammer because he put a lot of people on.
Oh yeah, that too.
He went broke doing it.
I mean that too. I mean that's a whole other conversation. I'm just talking about in the purity of hip hop.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what I'm saying? Then you had dang, it's on the tip of my tongue too. You made me forget. See, nigga. But you know what I'm saying? You have all these different people you can kind of listen to and be like, oh, all right. And to me now, it seems like, you know, with a few exceptions, it don't seem like it's all the same thing. And I think that needs to change. That needs to be decluttered. You know, and I think it starts with what I said before, is that we having our own stuff. A lot of stuff may not be the artists themselves, it may be the people that's behind them pushing. This is what sells, you need to do this. This is what sells, you need to do this. You know, and then now they got you hooked on these. They got you on these drugs, and that can get you off the drugs because it's what's selling.
It's selling.
You know, if I have you high, and that's what you're talking about, then most people are buying your stuff. But
I can control you.
You know, I can control you. People buying that, so that's what's selling. But if you independent, I ain't trying to be high. You know what I'm saying? Or if I am gonna be high, I'll be high on my own terms. You know, that kind of thing. I think that's where it needs to move. If you want to get rid of misogyny, if you want to get rid of the I don't think hip hop itself make you do violent things.
Right. No.
I mean, if you look at it from even like I listened to a psychiatrist, and she was saying like, now music does affect your mood.
It really does. It does.
You know what I'm saying? It does affect your mood, but it doesn't affect your behavior.
Exactly.
And that's what's different.
Yeah.
You know, when you try to say that it affects my behavior and it makes me go do something,
I want to see the proof.
You taking liberties with that.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to see the proof of that.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Instructions, you're gonna grab the knife, you're gonna grab the gun.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't, to me, that doesn't jive.
Yeah.
But because it's predominantly black, you know, they try to use that, and then that way they can go say, well, see, now black people are like this.
Exactly.
Black people are like that.
Yeah.
And for us who are black, and I mean not just us in this room, but all of us, we need to realize that and say, hey, no, we need to change this because we're better than that.
Yeah. And there was actually like a newer artist, Summer Walker.
Mm-hmm.
She got a Grammy, and it's crazy too because the thing about it, she made music for herself, and next thing you know, she got famous off of it.
Yeah,
she didn't want to do it. She honestly did not, but the label made her, and she has like a really bad like anxiety problem.
Yeah.
We saw that too.
I was hearing about that. Like, she don't do a lot of public appearances and stuff like that.
She don't do that at all, and it's like it's scary too because as black folk, of course, we have to work as a team, but they just keep bashing on her like, yo, why you acting like that? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you saying it can affect your mood, but it can't change your behavior? She can't help having anxiety attacks in front of a huge crowd like that. People are constantly judging her, the way she looks. Of course, she doesn't look like how she sounds, and it's like, wow. I guess it's what you gonna say?
Not just that, but see now they're separating the human from the artist.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Let's say that. I mean, like, explain that.
Okay, so like you said, they're judging her. Well, why don't you like to come out? Why don't you like to talk to us like that?
Right.
She has anxiety
because they want the artist Summer Walker.
Exactly.
But they're not caring about the person.
Exactly.
You don't care about that.
Like, you don't have anxiety yourself. You don't go through real life things.
You want to go on stage?
Exactly. She probably rarely performs, right? Is she doing a tour?
She canceled her tour.
Exactly.
She canceled her tour.
You know what I mean? Myself, I understand that, honestly. I do understand that. And that made me question myself at one point, like, dang, like, I have anxiety myself. I don't know if this is built for me. But I see she doing it. So I guess I can do it my damn self. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on the same token of what you were saying, back you were saying about the same clusters of rap, that shit does get annoying. I'm not gonna lie, I get annoyed in hell. It gets annoying as hell, for real. I found myself just listening to different people. You know what I mean? Just back to back, just finding underground artists as many people as I can, just reaching different genres outside of rap itself, but still coming back to rap.
Right.
You got a good point.
And I think too, like, you know, like, I wish Lexi was here, cause he, you know. But my thing is like, so you know, my background is a heavily church background.
Okay.
And when I first got into church when I was like 19, 20, you know, it was like rap. You couldn't listen to rap. Rap was just like the devil.
Devil's music.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't listen to that devil music.
You know what I'm saying? And because for most of you got to think about when I was 19 or 20, most of the leaders in the church were in their 40s.
Right.
So they wasn't identifying with it. I came up with it.
More different genres.
It's almost like when people like my age, maybe Lamar's age, you know, they didn't grow up with computers, so to speak. Now, you know, I had computers, but not like y'all did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, our idea about computers is a little different than y'all ideas about computers, because y'all basically came out the womb texting niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. I'm still
You know what I'm saying? I'm up in here.
I just came out of the pussy. I'm here.
You know what I'm saying?
It's my birthday, y'all.
Versus with us, you know what I'm saying? Versus like with me with rap music, you know, I was like, that's what I came up with it. You know, I came up with Rapper's Delight. You know, I came up with Treacherous 3. I remember Schoolie D, Shy D. You know, I remember 2 Live, all of them, you know, from back in Roxanne Shante, UTFO, all that, all the battle raps back then. You know what I'm saying? I came up with that. You know, KRS-One, Public Enemy, you know, I came up with all that. So then I get here, I come, okay, I want to try to change my life, so I come to church, change my life, because that's what we were taught we need to do.
Right.
And then you say, oh, you got to put this down because that's the devil's music. And majority of the people who say that have not listened to all of rap.
Exactly.
They might have heard, you know, a little NWA talking about fuck the police and say, well, you shouldn't be saying that because that's cussing. Cussing is not good. And, you know, the police, you should respect the police, but the police is beating us down the streets all the time.
Exactly.
You know, the police is mistreating us all the time. Now, if I choose to express myself by saying the F word, or I choose myself to fight a different way, it still should be spoken about because it's happening to our people. You know, and to ignore that in the name of God, I think is wrong also.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that because Dr. King and Malcolm X had the same general mission, but they went about it 2 different ways.
Yeah,
because I mean, they both were fighting for equality, to be not only respected as a human being, but just respected as a culture.
it was more just expressed differently.
Now, Malcolm X was more by any means necessary, and Dr. King was turning the other cheek. Now, me personally, depending on the day, I could be either one.
Exactly.
But here's the thing on that too, that a lot of people don't realize, as history progressed, they flipped. You know, King gave a speech, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember right now verbatim, but he said something in general like, you know, this idea that I tried to push, I think that I put our people in harm's way.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And then Malcolm X, when he went to Mecca and saw there was more Muslims that they're not just black, they were white, you know, Asian, all kinds of Muslims. He kind of changed his mind and got more into like, let's be more inclusive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, so they both of them kind of changed their ideology as they experienced stuff.
Right.
And that goes back to what I was saying, a lot of people who speak against, especially this thing about hip hop, haven't experienced hip hop.
Right.
You know, they cause if I was on the outside looking in, all I saw was that crap we see today, I might feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man,
Because it's a general picture that's being painted.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I would understand that. If I was a female who's not trying to live a hood life, so to speak, you know, and I want to say, okay, I want to be more corporate and stuff. I ain't trying to see nobody out there dancing, you know, half naked.
Yeah.
You know, that's not where my mind is at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From that perspective, a female perspective, who's in a whole different lane. But then if you have someone, you know, like Tifa was, you know what I'm saying, singing Unity or Ladies First.
Right.
How can you say that's wrong?
You can.
You know what I'm saying? Because now she's speaking positive and unity amongst black women, or women in general, and more specifically black women. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring the unity amongst us. You know, who you calling a bitch? You know, stuff like that. You know, we should come together and as women and unite. That's positivity. You know, but a lot of people don't hear that, and all they see is, you know, now they see is what they see now. Like, man, I don't want to get to that.
Yeah, they push each other to go against each other.
Right.
Especially like women in rap nowadays. I'm not gonna say all of them, but they treat men in their music like we treat them, and it's like, oh no, going back and forth. It's not good because, of course, there is a stand for women. I agree with that too, but there comes a point in time where that's going to get old. And what else are you gonna talk about? Oh, hey nigga, come here right quick. And so, like, what? I don't understand that. Like, it's like the roles have flipped in a different way though, because guys are less likely to call a girl a bitch now. Because I mean, that's cool too, but girls are getting kind of more aggressive with it, and that's where I'm relating back to with like they're trying to go against the grain with listening to music that they haven't tried yet.
Right.
And it's like rap has a genre for everyone. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just like with like a good example is Tyler the Creator. Yo, okay, back then he did rap kind of demonically. He did. I didn't like him at first when I was like in middle school. Then I heard some more. I was like, he's not really saying like he's gonna disrespect this religion or so, but he's just rapping like, this is how I feel. That's just me. But later on he progressed to like not even rap about that shit no more. He rap about like I don't even know if you rap in general. This is just music, like good music in general. And a lot of people don't even want to give his music a chance because of his background.
Right.
But people like what's his name? Trippie Redd. He worships the devil in his music, and people are likely to give him a chance because it's a trend now. Because of Louis Z. Vert, rest in peace to Juice WRLD, but Juice WRLD kind of did that too. And it's a lot of that, it's a lot of that stuff nowadays. And yeah, you just gotta knock it till you try it.
And I think like, for people like who are older or who haven't like, so I've been in and out of hip hop.
Okay.
And so like, some of the new people, I'm like just getting reintroduced to like, okay, I heard that person. Or somebody like Lamar say, you listen to so-and-so, I pull them up and say, oh, okay, I like that person. I can't get with it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like sometimes Tia tell me about somebody, or I be trying to tell Tia, I'm Dub C again.
All the time, Dub C, what's the connection,
you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get that connection because you don't know those people out there. Those people exist. They're positive people. Because like when I turn on, because I'm on YouTube all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I turn on YouTube, all I'm seeing is Trippie Redd.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All I'm seeing is Lil Xan. Yep. All I'm seeing is all people like that. You like, what is this crap? You know what I'm saying? Unless you specifically go and search for those positive people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you just seeing like different stuff on there. Like I got YouTube Red.
YouTube Red.
What? And so I like like old school gangster rap and old school rap music. It started trying to hook me up to the new school stuff. Okay. And I be looking like, this is crap. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, whatever you say about the old school gangster rap, you can say whatever you want to say. Well, it wasn't positive, blah, blah, blah. But I can identify with it because they spoke to stuff that I was speaking back then.
Right.
Now, do I live that lifestyle now? No. Am I trying to live that lifestyle now? No. But it brings me back to say, I remember that. And it's kind of like, it's for me, it's not about the violence of it. It's not even about the drug selling of it. It just brings me back to like when I was in high school.
That moment in time.
I'm like, all right, and I'm bobbing to that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I want to hit a nigga in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just being honest and true. Now, you try to refrain from that because you want to be a little more refined as you get older. Right. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes that's just the truth. And you know what I'm saying? That's how you feel. And I can understand when somebody say that, you be like, bro, I feel you, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Am I promoting it? No, but I understand.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But some of this new stuff, I don't feel like taking no Xan. You know what I'm saying? Xanax is not my thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I like regular weed. I don't need no shit that's gonna have me on the roof dancing.
You know what I'm saying?
Go crazy. I need some regular weed.
Like my man in colors. Like my man in colors. Trying to hump the bundle. What? You see colors? No. You never see colors? You got.
T-Bone. I'm not gonna shoot you. Come on, everything's cool. Everything's cool now. Come on, let's go.
Now fuck that, man. Fuck that, man. Fuck that. Get off me, man. Give him a rabbit, man.
Calm down.
Give him a rabbit.
Calm down,
T-Bone. Give him a rabbit, man. Fuck, what's that? You couldn't get in the home, man. Get off me, man.
There's your rabbit,
Get
T-Bone.
Yeah.
There's your rabbit.
I'm talking about T-Bone's in the house. In the house, baby.
Get up, T-Bone.
Come back. You're gonna have to give me my baby. Give me my rabbit,
You'll get
man.
your rabbit.
Shoot, man.
Got your rabbit.
Give me. Try to take me away. Try to take the T-Bone away, baby. I want another one. You can't take T-Bone away, man. You can't take the T.
Boy, come on now. Come on.
Cat, man, I like
right with us here. Come on. Here's your rabbit. There he is, right?
See that? And then your partner's next.
Boy, come on.
I mean, routinely in the media, hip hop is, villainized and talked about by correspondents, despite the fact that they're speaking from outside of the culture. I mean, you have Bill O'Reilly, who says the rap industry often glorifies depraved behavior that sometimes sinks into the minds of some young people. Jason Whitlock says that the music, the attitude, the behavior of this culture is anti-education. It's demeaning, it's self-destructive, it's pro-violent. I mean, it's pro-drug dealing and it's violent. Well, here's the thing. If you're wondering why hip-hop is often violent, angry, and nihilistic, you got to take into consideration it's a culture that was created by marginalized and disenfranchised minorities who woke up on the wrong side of the war on drugs. Now, President Nixon in the 1970s declared a war on drugs. We've all heard about this more recently in the news. But in 1982, this war was enforced by Ronald Reagan when hip-hop was still wearing diapers. Now, cultural critic and music journalist Torre says that this war would not only shape the urban community, but it would mold hip-hop, a culture whose undercurrent remains Black and Latino male anger at a nation that declared these young men monsters, abandoned them, and destroyed any chance they had at accomplishing or achieving the American dream. So if our societal standard of the American dream, chasing the American dream is heroism from working hard and working legally, then anyone who can't or doesn't or finds some other means to do that becomes a villain. Now, in the beginning, hip hop was not pro-violent, pro-drug dealing. It was socially conscious. It was anti-drug almost always. And the music actually addressed the societal woes and did more of a narration than a glorification. I mean, in 1982, you have the message by, Grandmaster Flash, who says, I can't take the smell, I can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back. Junkies in the alley with a baseball bat. Tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, man, with the tow truck repossessed my car. You got Melly Mel, who writes, whether up your nose or in your vein, with nothing to gain except killing your brain. He's talking about cocaine. This is in 1982. He's talking about it in a negative context.
See, cuz how my man, he's high on PCP.
Yeah.
He the bunny.
Oh my God.
That was getting wild.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't, I don't want to mess like that. And I've always been like this, man. Even when coming up, I never was much of a drinker.
Right.
And I never really followed crowds. Okay. So now people's like, we drinking, getting drunk. I gonna play cards with you. Mm-hmm. I shoot dice with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They getting drunk. I'm sipping water, Kool-Aid. I'm good. They smoking weed. I might have been selling it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't necessarily mean you're gonna be.
But I don't want like that. You know what I'm saying? No, have I smoked weed before? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not, we did things when we was younger, or still do things now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I was never one to say I'm smoking weed because he's smoking weed because he's smoking weed. I smoke weed because I want to smoke weed. Right. And I think that I always been like that. So when it comes to my music, I'm the same way. I don't just listen to people because everybody like them.
Yeah.
Right. But like it seems I want a choice. It don't seem like I have that choice from my perspective because all I see is what I see. Now, like I said, when y'all recommend something, I'll go and listen to them. Okay. So I'm like, I checked them out. Like I ain't know nothing about J. Cole till somebody told me about him. I ain't know about Kendrick till somebody told me about him. Okay, yeah. So I was just saying, it's like, until somebody, I go listen to it, okay, I like that. I like Big Crit. My man told me about Big Crit before, and then when you brought it back up, so let me finally go see. Second time I heard about it. And I like that song Mississippi, I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funky. I like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can get with that. And I think that with this whole idea of trying to put this bad label on rap music, that we just need to change it. before we close, let everybody get their look, because we in an hour now. Let everybody say their final thing about it, and then we'll go ahead and close out. Go ahead, Lamar.
I mean, to me, I think until we change the game, because at this point you had to hit the reset button, and not only that, to me, I think it's not enough Biggies and Tupacs in the industry, and you got too many littles. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Little this, little that, little this, little him, little her, little Xan, Lil Wayne.
Right.
I think until we get to the point where we got more people like Big and Pac, Cole, Kendrick, Crit, in my opinion, are some of the people that's, I guess you could say, conscientious rappers, but they're going to give you versatile flows, versatile train of thoughts until you get to the actual mental part of it. Because I even think Common is a good influence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he'll never get that accolade of like a Lil Wayne.
Of course.
But I mean, people like him are just, if we have more people like him, we'll be able to reset and take that finger point and we can get the motherfuckers to birds. So until we get to that point, to me it's just going to keep rolling on that hamster wheel until we get somebody that just wants to hop off the wheel and be like, you know what, enough of this shit. So hopefully it happens within my lifetime. Unfortunately, I'll be real, I'm not gonna hold my breath because and the only reason why I say that is because to me is too many factors outside of our culture that's gonna try their damn hardest to hinder that process. So until we get to that point, I mean, it sucks. I just feel like rap music will still get the brunt and the blame for a lot of quote unquote bad practices in our culture in America. So yeah.
This is his dude.
Oh, you want to say that?
I'm close out. Go ahead.
Where did I start? As you were saying, Lamar, about the whole mental thing, it's back to the mental, you know what I mean? In all honesty, man, all of us have that power in our minds to really enhance, you know what I mean, that full potential. Some of us just don't try to, you know what I mean? They want to just sit back, relax, just kick back and man, I guess I'll go with the flow, see what's going on type, you know what I mean? Instead of really trying to find that, really trying to find yourself within the music, whether you write it, whether you listen to it, you know what I mean? You can still relate to it in a different way. Myself, I feel as if as an artist, I'm trying to impact the generation as much as possible. Even the people who are coming up before me, I want to impact them in a different path, man. For real, bro. Because it's sad, honestly. It really is. For real, bro. It's different, bro. It's gonna take a lot. You know what I mean? And an artist, for me, I feel has done that. For me personally, is X, man. He's done that for me, definitely, bro. He's changed my way of thinking, for real.
DMX?
No, bro. Yeah, he's really changed my thinking, though, bro, for real.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. Back to what Lamar was saying too, with having that one person change the game up. There's a lot, I would say not a lot, but a handful of artists that are trying to do it now. I would say one of them was Nipsey Hussle. He was doing his thing. He was doing his thing for the
community. Not to be a conspiracist and not to fuck y'all. I think something still was a little fishy about that shit. It was a little too fishy. Because to me, that still reminded me, because I don't know how old you guys were, but I don't know how y'all felt when we got word that Pac was gone and how we got word when Big was gone. It's like, how?
That's what I'm saying.
I think with them though, man, they were the first high-profile rappers I could think of to get killed.
Yeah.
Not die, but just get killed.
Yeah.
You never, in your mind, even though you know people can get killed, people can die. Yeah. You never thought that. You think when you got 40, 50, they're gonna be 40 or 50.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you think that. So when it happened, you like, what?
I got the same feeling when Nipsey died or when Pac and Big died. I'm like, come on, no, not at all people, not you.
When I saw Nipsey had died, you know, I just got turned on to Nips, and I saw like a couple videos and some other stuff he was doing. I was like, I like this cat. I like what he was doing. I like the way he was moving. You know what I'm saying? That what got me turned on to know more about what he was moving in his music. I knew about his moves and his music.
Me too. I saw him as a businessman.
Right. And I kind of got turned on to
the project that he was doing.
Yeah. So when I saw it come across my feed, I thought, oh, it's some Facebook fake stuff. You know what I'm saying? He in this hood, everybody love this nigga. Ain't nobody hit on him. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I ain't happy, man. So then I turned on the news talking. I was like, wow. So that kind of affected me too. It was almost like you said, like the Tupac and Big. It's more. I mean, it's not as much to me because, like I said, I got turned on to him as a businessman, so I wasn't like into his music. I'm not saying I didn't listen to a couple songs, but I wasn't as much as in his music I was into his moves, how he moved, and how he did things. I like what this guy doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I like how he's moving because, you know, what we were saying earlier, that goes back to like that's how we need to move.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we need, you know, regardless of how you came up, how you started. You know what I'm saying? We all have our past, what we did wrong, right, wrong, whatever. You know, but this guy tried to turn it into a positive, man. And he didn't go out and move to Riverside somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He moved to Torrance. He stayed in the hood.
There's a conspiracy about that, man.
You know what I'm saying? He stayed in the hood.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
No.
You said that, but I'm like, God,
I really wanted to talk about that too because it's weird that a lot of these artists that are making an impact they're on watch now. They're not done, but they're on watch. Yeah, like if Jay-Z died, I'm gonna be like, okay, there's something going on here. I already think there's something going on, but if something like that, like someone big in like the music industry of color dies again, it's like there's something going on. There's a plan, there's a scheme because no one is going to go out to Nipsey Hussle in his own neighborhood that he knows everybody and is doing something for, and shoot him dead.
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
Yeah, and then like you know, working together is something huge too. Like there are still artists out here trying to make a statement. Like Snoop Dogg, low key he's getting his bag with this. He's definitely trying to help out, and I can see that too because he's using his platform. Everyone knows Snoop Dogg. Right. And if you don't listen to his music, you don't make music like that anymore. Right. Everyone knows him.
Everybody still knows him.
Figure. Right. And that's how a lot of these like huge artists that like don't even do music anymore. That's how people see them. Like Jay-Z's album, you know, it was good. No one really listened to it like that, but he's Jay-Z. Right. So of course people are going to know about it. Right. And then it's just like a cultural impact of how rap has changed the game tremendously, especially for the black community. Right.
I was listening to Brother J, and y'all might not know who Brother J is, X-Clan, and he was saying something I thought was very interesting and kind of profound. He was talking about, it wasn't really a beef with him and KRS-One, but misunderstanding. And one of his records, he said something about, I have to paraphrase that one too, but he said something in this way like, you know, stop pushing the humanistic movement and be more about your people, you know, and you must learn. Well, everybody know you must learn was KRS-One's song. Right. So everybody was stabbing him. And so, you know, he said, I was young, I was arrogant, we had this big talk. So they went down to South Bronx, had a big meeting, and Ben Bada kind of orchestrated that and everything. And, you know, they kind of squashed it. But one thing he had said, he was like, you know, back then, you still looked out for your brother. It was just a disagreement. We may not necessarily be on the same mind of how we think this path should go. But at the same time, I still support you because you're another black man. You know, and I think that right there is what we should do. And I'm just paraphrasing what Brother Jay said. So, Brother Jay, you ever see this video? You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know, I'm just paraphrasing. But, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he said something along those lines, and I thought that was very profound because that's the one thing we need to learn how to do is like, you know, Alex may think we should go left. I may think we should go right, Lamar said they go to the middle, and Terrence is retarded.
So
But, you know what I'm saying?
go backwards.
Let's go this way. No, I'm just joking.
He goes going home for anything.
That's my man. I'm just joking.
Man, let's levitate, man.
Let's take your voice, bro.
No, I'm joking, but I'm just saying, and I'm saying I may not agree with the way they trying to move, but I'm gonna support them as much as I can because they black men trying to do something positive. And I think that is how we defeat, this whole idea or the view or the perspective of how people view us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's moving positively and supporting one another globally.
Yes, sir.
There's black rappers in London.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them.
London, France.
France.
This guy named Stormzy.
Mm-hmm.
He a big artist out there.
Right.
He
I remember,
fired,
what's my man's name?
Skeptic?
No, this is back in the day.
Oh.
He had I think he had kind of took the Rakim beat. He was from London. And nobody's getting one because he's from London.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I remember his name. But anyway, I remember
Was
that.
it Cardinal Official?
No.
Was it him?
No.
I can't even. I don't even know how the hell I even remember
What's his
that.
name? It's on. I was like, I can see his face anyway. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And nobody getting one, but it's like it's so many black brothers out there trying to do stuff that's positive, man. And we should support each other. And once we do that and get on one accord, I think that'll change the whole game. You'll stop seeing some of these people. Now you're gonna have a few people, because everybody you're not gonna get 100% support.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you get a great number of that support, those ones, the few people that are still doing the foolish stuff, people won't even pay attention to that no more.
Exactly.
Because they saying, look us over here. This is the greater stuff over here. Yeah. These people are doing positive stuff. These people are moving. These people are together. I'm not doing a collaboration with you for the money. I'm doing a collaboration with you because I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? I may be up here now in my career. You may be starting. Let me bring you over here on my album and do a collabo so I can move you up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you do that, when you come up, you do the same thing.
Right.
Or I may be a producer. I'm gonna go ahead and produce your album. You know what I'm saying? Look out for you. Just like I told you, I will shoot your video. I won't charge you. So I like to practice. This is my craft. I like doing this. And you know what I'm saying? And I want to kind of hone my craft anyway. So we helping each other out.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point too, because rap is like literally the first, major platform black people has had. And like it's like that makes a lot of sense too. Why not capitalize off that opportunity? And that's huge.
Hell, that might be our only platform.
That might be.
You see, they killing us with
They
sports.
taking R&B. They took soul. And Robert Thicke trying to get in there. You know what I'm saying? All this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Robert Thicke Robert out here.
we had rock, and then they took that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
People don't know.
Yeah, we had rock.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, bro.
Jimi Hendrix,
He was the
Chuck
best.
Berry.
Yeah, we was just talking about that the other day because Chuck Berry would never get his.
They say they say the Elvis is the king of rock and roll. Chuck Berry's the king of rock and roll.
That's what I'm saying.
You
know what I'm saying?
gentrified.
He
the king of white rock and roll.
And that's another thing too. Now I'm gonna say that, then we're gonna go ahead and close it. But I know a lot of people, black people that support Elvis, that like Elvis Presley. This man say all you can do is buy my records inside my shoes. I ain't buying nothing. And then white people argue down. Well, he the greatest there is. He's the greatest. What?
It's not.
What? That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Even if his music was great, the fact he said that I ain't supporting him.
Right.
And that's how I think we should think. You don't support that mess.
Right.
Exactly.
You support positive stuff. Now, I have friends that's from all walks of life, all different races, all different colors. You know what I'm saying? But I tell everybody, I am a black man, and I'm unapologetically black.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that doesn't mean.
Say it loud.
that doesn't mean that I'm anti everything else.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But because of what we experience and because of what we still going through, I have to support my people. You know what I'm saying? I have to, because if it don't start with me,
you ain't gonna get no support nowhere.
You know what I'm saying? It has to start with each individual person. So it has to start with me. I can only control me.
Yeah.
And so I know I can control me. I make this conscious decision to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and if I can give you $2 or $3, you know what I'm saying? I give you $2 or $3, and then if I, when I make 10, here's 10. You know, whatever, because it's like every little bit counts, and whatever I can do, I'm trying to support, man. You know, I try not amongst us. I might say, man, nigga, garbage. But I ain't gonna say that amongst others, you know, because we need to have some kind of unified, front, united front, and that's how I think that's how you defeat this stuff. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, enjoyed the men without Lexus, and we'll have her back next time. This is our last show before we go on hiatus for the holidays. So Happy New Year and Merry Christmas,
Happy
Kwanzaa,
Hanukkah,
Salam Alaikum.
Eat more bacon.
Right. But don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, leave a comment below. Let us know if something you might not agree, maybe something you do agree with, maybe something you want us to discuss even further. Let us know. Until next time, we'll see you later.